Let's start with a simple question. How many of you have heard of Agenda 47? And how many of you have heard of Project 2025? I want you to think about that. Agenda 47 is Donald Trump's actual platform, his agenda if he's reelected president. Project 25 is something the media has alarmed us about over the past 2 to 3 weeks. It's something the Heritage Foundation has published suggestions for what Donald Trump should do as president of the United States if he's reelected. Why are we hearing more about what the Heritage Foundation wants than what Donald Trump wants? We'll get into that today. Welcome to Fearless with Jason Whitlock. I'm Jason Whitlock, your host. Happy Friday. We made it. It's the weekend. We have an awesome show planned for you. Country music star John Rich is going to be here. We're going to debut the video of his new song, Revelation. Those of you that came to Roll Call, you heard Revelation. Those of you that have watched this show, you've seen John perform a bit of it here on this show before. But we have the video. John's going to come on and talk to us about the song and the video and a few things going on in the political world. That will be a part of the show. We'll start, though, today talking about Project 25. Or will we be talking about Agenda 47, which is Donald Trump's actual platform? That will be today's show. We'll focus in on that. We'll have some John Rich. Great show. We'll get you into the weekend. Guys, I need you to check out that extra Fearless content on Blaze TV. You need to be a Blaze TV subscriber to get the extra content we produce. Go to blazetv.com/fearless. Use the promo code fearless, and you can save $20 on your yearly subscription to Blaze TV. It's the best thing you can do to support me and the Blaze and free speech. Please do that. I want to thank our great friends at Good Ranchers for allowing me to do this today and virtually every day. This episode is brought to you by our good friends at Good Ranchers. Use my promo code fearless at goodranchers.com. And with your subscription, you can claim $100 off plus free Wagyu burgers for a year while supporting veterans during the month of July. It's time to revolt and reclaim our independence from the grocery store meat aisle. Do it with Good Ranchers. Thank our good friends at Good Ranchers. All right, let's get into Project 2025. Project 25, that's all we keep hearing about everywhere I turn. Project 25, Project 25. Maybe you're like me. I had never heard of Project 25. And it's not, obviously, you know, I'm not a hardcore political person. I'm not a political wonk. But because of this show, because of what I've been doing, I pay attention to the political world. I never heard of Project 25 until suddenly out of nowhere, everybody in the media on the left is talking about Project 25. I'll give you the latest example of all of this, and this is Joy Reid with another one of her balded cell phone video rants about Project 25. Here's Joy Reid with her latest about Project 25.
Let's not be trying to play games with these kinds of small things to try to pull us into a direction. All that matters in this election, and I genuinely mean this, all that matters in this election, the only thing that matters in this election is keeping Donald Trump and Project 2025 out of power. Keeping that insane ideology of white Christian nationalism and white supremacy and white male Christian dominance out of power. That's all that matters. I genuinely don't care who the Democratic nominee is. And I'm being real. I don't care. If it's Biden, fine. If it's Kamala Harris, fabulous, right? But it's going to be one of the two of them. Let's just not play crazy games now. There are rules the way that this process works. It's one of the two of them. Either one, I don't care. Or if you want to parachute somebody else in and they not him, they not the orange one, they not the one who quotes Hitler, fine, put him in, I don't care. Because all that matters, I'm going to say this to y'all again, all that matters in this upcoming election is that you keep that man and that Project 2025 plan out of power. That's all you need to understand. And to do that, you are going to need to vote against the party that has embraced white Christian nationalism. The Republican Party is gone. It has been replaced by Project 2025 and MAGA and Trump. That's all that's left. That party is gone. And that means you have to vote against that.
This whole, they've been fed talking points. And so you can take all the words that they make an Oreo cookie, or they make a cookie, a sandwich out of the word Christian. They put white on one side and they put nationalism on the other side and they put Christian in the middle. And it's all an attack. White, oh, that's terrible. Nationalism, oh, that's terrible. Then surround it with Christian. And the only attack is on the thing in the middle, Christian. They want to demonize Jesus Christ and Christianity. And they want you to go along with it because they want you to believe that Christianity is racist. Why are they going to these desperate levels? They have nothing to offer. They don't have a presidential candidate, Joe Biden. They have a corpse. Joe Biden selected a vice president based on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. They're pretending that Kamala, an Indian and Jamaican woman, is black. And so she's a clown. She's unqualified. She's a DEI, unqualified hire. Everybody knows it. She hawk-toured her way to the top. Kamala Harris is the original hawk-tour. Bottom line. And it speaks to life. You can sleep your way to the top in America. That's what they have to offer as an alternative to Donald Trump, to Joe Biden. They know Joe Biden's a dead man walking. They know Kamala Harris slept her way to the top and has no qualifications beyond getting on her knees. So what are they going to run against? Well, Project 25. Let's come up with something that's unattached to Donald Trump. We don't even want to address Agenda 47, his actual written platform and agenda that he's put out. And I don't know the details of Agenda 47 because I'm just not that hardcore of a political wonk and because I just don't buy that much into politics. But my limited understanding of it is Agenda 47 is so moderate, is so down the middle of the road, is so appealing to leftists that they don't want to talk about that. So they have to talk about something that has virtually nothing to do with Donald Trump. The Heritage Foundation. Let's blame them and let's attach them to Trump. And again, I'm not even saying he should be ashamed of the Heritage Foundation. It has a pretty rich history. It helped Ronald Reagan. It was very attached or associated with Ronald Reagan and his presidency. They did influence Ronald Reagan and his agenda. But they've made this whole thing, Project 25, white, Christian, nationalism, be afraid, slavery's gonna return. And they all started talking about it at the same time. It's like, oh my God, Joe Biden's a corpse. Did you see that debate performance? We better start talking about Project 25. So I just want to show, it's not just Joy Reid. The BET Awards, weren't they just a couple of weeks ago? This is when the first time I was, Project 25. What is it? What's this whole thing about? I want to show you Taraji Henson, just a little small taste of her at the BET Awards a couple of weeks ago. This is when Project 25 started getting on my radar.
Pay attention. It's not a secret. Look it up. They are attacking our most vulnerable citizens. The Project 2025 plan is not a game. Look it up. I'm not trying to scare us. I'm trying to inform us. We got 3 Supreme Court seats up, you guys. We need those seats, or we have no protection.
So that's Taraji Henson, a mediocre actress who thinks she's underpaid. Here's Stephen Colbert talking about Project 25. Play the clip.
It's a blueprint for a radical far-right takeover of everything in the U.S. government that, among many other scary things, proposes that Trump take direct presidential control of the entire federal bureaucracy, including independent agencies such as the Department of Justice. Trump's just going to fill all these positions with his cronies. Project 2025 also plans to maintain a biblically based definition of marriage and family. Yes. No, ladies and gentlemen, they don't.
I want to stop here for just a moment with Stephen Colbert and his audience. They want to maintain a biblically based version of marriage. And boo! And I would just love to ask these people, where did the entire concept of marriage originate? Who created marriage? Would there even be a such thing as marriage if not for the Bible, if not for the Word of God? And so you're booing something you didn't invent, you didn't create, man didn't do that, the Bible, God did. It's a biblical concept. And oh my God, Project 25 wants to go to the maker of marriage and go to the maker's definition of marriage. How dare they? How dare they not submit to our perversion of marriage? These secularists, these atheists, they don't create anything. They tear down what God has built, what God has designed. They pervert it. They come in and, hey, look, they've done something. Look what the Christians have done. Look at what the believers have done. They've created marriage. Hey, we want to overtake that. And we want to turn it into whatever the hell it is we want. 2 men want to get married? Screw the biblically based marriage. Screw what the inventor envisioned. It's no different. It's the same mindset. That like, oh God, the founders of the country, the people that fought off the British Empire, the people that fought for our independence, sacrificed their lives, sacrificed their safety. They came, hey, here's the Constitution, here's the Declaration of Independence. Hey, and now the secularists or the atheists or the Marxists, like, hey, we want to rewrite your Constitution. You've created something great here. We want to pervert it. That's what Stephen Colbert's. Here's John Oliver talking about Project 25.
Yeah, more than 100 conservative organisations have come together to work on this, and they're all there. You've got the Heritage Foundation, Liberty University, the NRA, Turning Point USA. They've even produced a 900-page handbook on their goals, which are sweeping. It proposes dismantling NOAA, the agency that tracks hurricanes and protects marine life, because it's, quote, one of the main drivers of the climate change alarm industry. It also proposes eliminating the Head Start programme, installing a pro-life task force to replace Biden's reproductive health care one, outlines plans to defund the DOJ, dismantle the FBI, and eliminate the Departments of Education and Commerce, and states that pornography should be outlawed and the people who produce and distribute it should be imprisoned.
That's John Oliver. So we've got Joy Reid, Taraji Henson, Stephen Colbert, John Oliver. They're all screaming and shouting the same thing. Project 25, Project 25. I think most people were like me, who aren't hardcore political junkies. We just never heard of it. And we assume like, hey, Donald Trump, like most presidential candidates, has his own platform, has his own agenda. It's called Agenda 47. He wants to be the 45th and the 47th president. And so he has Agenda 47. They won't talk about it. All they want to talk about is Project 25. And so Joe Biden creates an advertisement, his campaign, because he doesn't want to run against Agenda 47. He doesn't want to run against Donald Trump. They don't have anything really to complain about as it relates to Donald Trump because they know people are sitting there saying, well, hold on, I remember when he was president just 4 years ago, and none of these things they're talking about happened. He wasn't some homicidal dictator. And so they keep making advertisements and having all of their influencers talk about Project 25. Here's the Joe Biden campaign ad focused in on Project 2025.
Project 2025 would dismantle democracy as we know it.
He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one.
His vision of implementing a startlingly authoritarian form of the U.S. government.
Same thing with the unions. They get their little 5%. They get another 2%. They get another 3%, 4%. Then all of a sudden, they're making more money than the people that own the company.
Did you do larger cuts, corporate cuts?
Yeah, I was planning on doing it. In fact,
You believe in punishment for abortion, yes or no, as a principle?
there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
What's at stake here is democracy itself. It's now Donald Trump's party. And if he's elected, the consequences will be catastrophic.
This is incredible. This is why many of us dislike the media. This is why many of us dislike all the celebrity influencers. They're all programmed and they just spew out what they've been told to spew out. They're not independent thinkers. They're not objective observers. They're plants. Planted by the left, planted by the globalists, planted by the secular crowd, and they just regurgitate talking points. Donald Trump put out a statement about Project 2025, saying that I know nothing about Project 25. I have not seen it, have no idea who is in charge of it, and unlike our very well-received Republican platform, had nothing to do with it. The radical left Democrats are having a field day, however, trying to hook me into whatever policies are stated or said. It is pure disinformation on their part. By now, after all these years, everyone knows where I stand on everything, capital letters. DJT, which, again, he's not some unknown person from Hawaii with a dad from Kenya, whose real dad was some Marxist, who's married to some oversized woman. You know, he's already been president. He's been written about, talked about, and discussed in America nonstop for about 40 to 45 years. He's just not unknown. He's referenced in music. Again, he didn't come from out of nowhere. He's been a polarizing figure and someone we've discussed for nearly 4.5 decades. There's no mystery to Donald Trump. Former leftist, who, again, a former Democrat who became president by saying, you know what, the Democrats, man, they don't really represent the people. They don't really represent me anymore. They've left me no choice but to become a Republican, and I can work some things from the Republican Party that I cannot do from the Democrat Party, and so I'm going to go this route. That's who Donald Trump is. They know he's actually one of them. But they're upset with him. How dare you betray us? How dare you in any way dabble in the sexual perversion that we promote everywhere? And I say that, I'm not trying to disparage Donald Trump, because it's no different than the betrayal they feel from me. Hey, Whitlock, used to hang at strip clubs, used to chase young tail, used to be in Vegas doing all kinds of immoral stuff. How dare you jump to the other side and say, hey, man, I was wrong for that. And it leads to this chaos that we have now. And we all need to repent. And we all need to fall in line if we want to make a world that's safe for our children. Again, Donald Trump hasn't said it as clearly and as transparently as I have. But his actions and his basically support of working class people and people with traditional Christian values, again, he doesn't represent those. He's not repenting the way that I am, but he has taken bold steps to legitimize the people and some of the, again, he put the Supreme Court justices in place that overturned Roe v. Wade. How dare he? I'm sure they're sitting there going, hey man, as many of these models as you boned over the years, and maybe you've paid for a handful of abortions, how dare you put Supreme Court justices on that would overturn Roe v. Wade? You've betrayed us. That's what, if you betray the sexual perversion cult, they will try to destroy you and try to say, oh my God, Jason Whitlock, you interviewed E. Michael Jones. How dare you? Let me put on your Wikipedia page that you interviewed E. Michael Jones and you didn't disagree with everything he said. You're anti-Semitic. It's because I betrayed them and their sexual perversion cult. As long as I was supporting sexual perversion, I would have been left alone and have the freedom to say virtually anything. You surrender their little Epstein Island, pedophilia, what all that the stuff that I was like, oh my God, you mean me hanging out in strip clubs and chasing after young girls? That leads to Epstein Island? And that's why I was like, oh my God, I got to walk away from this. I can't be a part of this. This is evil, wicked. I'm going to burn in hell if I don't walk away from this. Donald Trump isn't where I'm at on my spiritual religious journey. But his actions, again, those Supreme Court justices, the overturn of Roe v. Wade, that child sacrifice that they are for and is important to them. Killing kids in the womb is very important to that sexual perversion cult. And he did something to disrupt the flow of that, and he's got to pay a price for it. And they can't defeat him with his actual beliefs, his platform, any of that. Let's go to Project 25. Let's make that. Let's run against that. And let's run against Jesus Christ by surrounding Jesus Christ with the words of you're white and you're nationalist. White Christian nationalism. It's all an attack on Christ, the thing in the middle. That's what this is all about. And how dare these Project 25 guys, how dare the Heritage Foundation suggest that we return to biblical marriage? How dare they say, hey, you know what? The slippery slope is actually true. There is a slippery slope. And the people that said, hey, man, if you legalize same-sex marriage, they're not going to stop there. One day, they'll be having drag queens, kings, queens, whatever they are, gyrating their bat and balls in front of young children in the name of sexual freedom, in the name of tolerance. There were people that were wise enough to see it. They're like, hey, man, you gonna let two women get married? You've just opened the door for all of it. And that's why we're this close to them coming all the way out of the closet and saying, you know what? These minor attracted people, if they want to have sex with a 10 or 11-year-old kid, that's not abnormal. They're just minor attracted people, and we have to be tolerant of them. They got nothing. And that's why they keep lighting into Project 25. They can't. Joe Biden's a corpse. Kamala Harris, the original Hawk-Tuah girl, she might as well be a corpse. She's brain dead. She has one skill in life. She can spit on that thing, ask Willie Brown. That doesn't qualify you to be president of the United States. Sorry to be that blunt with you, but you just I gotta make it real for you. Check out Agenda 47. It's available online. You can actually see what Donald Trump is for. Again, from the limited amount of knowledge I have about Project 25, I don't have a problem with it. If someone blamed me for Project 25, man, so what? All the stuff you're for, and I'm supposed to be ashamed of Project 25? You think it's proper to have all this pornography and all this gender discussion in front of third, fourth, and fifth graders? You think gender affirming, cutting off tits and balls off of little kids, and I'm supposed to be ashamed of Project 25? Blame me for it. I don't have anything to do with it, but if you blame me for it, I wouldn't care. I'm not running for president. If that would be my statement if I was Donald Trump. Hey, I didn't write it, but I don't have a problem with it. I'm supposed to be ashamed of that? And you're out here upset and mad because you can't kill babies in the womb? You're out here upset and mad because you can't cut breasts and balls off of little kids and give them puberty blockers? I'm supposed to be ashamed of Project 25? Miss me with all of it. We're going to move on. John Rich is going to join us. We're going to talk about his new song, Revelation, that comes out today. I'll have an interview with John Rich. But first, I want to play you his newest music video for Revelation. It's awesome. Our guy, Nick Searcy's in the video as well. And then we'll play the video, and then we'll come back and bring John Rich on and have a conversation with him about the song and a few other things. Next.
In the flames, the people cursed his name, bowed at the altar of the father of lies. But there's a number to their days and all their evil ways. The Lord's gonna turn away from all their cries. Oh, revelation, I can feel it coming like a dark train running. Oh, coming back again. Brimstone upon their heads, millstones around their necks. They'll feel the shaking when the trumpet sounds. And no matter where they hide, there'll be nowhere to run when Jesus puts his mighty foot on the ground. I can feel it coming like a dark train running. Oh, get ready, 'cause the King is coming. The King is coming back again. Lightning flash, their voice will wail and their teeth will gnash. And he'll set fire to the evil ones and all the wickedness they've done. There'll be no time to turn around as the stars begin to hit the ground and the mountains fall and the veil is torn with the sounding of that seventh horn. Oh, revelation, I can feel it coming like a dark train running. Train before his days were done. The king is coming, and it won't be long.
Welcome back to Beef. As I walk you through my top 50 media beefs of all time. Yeah, I'm an equal opportunity beefer. It's like, Randy, are you asleep at the wheel? Big lips are in style. I'd love to squash this beef. I mean, I was not real happy at all. I was less than thrilled. I was displeased. And now we have beef. Welcome back. Joined as promised in studio by friend of the show, my partner on Roll Call, John Rich. John has a song that he played at Roll Call that now is about to be released this Friday, today, nationally, Revelation. It's a tremendous song. We've heard it at Roll Call. We shared a little bit with you all in our highlight video of Roll Call.
Revelation, I can feel it coming like a dark train running. Oh, get ready, 'cause the king is coming. The king is coming back again. When judgment comes like a lightning flash, their voice will wail and their teeth will gnash. He'll set fire to the evil ones and all the wickedness they've done. There'll be no time to turn around as the stars begin to hit the ground and the mountains fall and the veil is torn with the sounding of that seventh horn. Oh, Revelation, I can feel it coming like a dark train running.
John, I think this song is going to have incredible impact. I'm hoping that it hits the way Richmond of whatever.
Richmond, north of Richmond, yeah.
When I heard it, I immediately thought of Am I the Only One? Aaron Lewis, it hit me that way, but more spiritually. But anyway, talk a little bit about, refresh the audience about Revelation, what inspired it, what's the message of it, the whole nine.
Well, what inspired it was the Apostle John's writings in the book of Revelation. And you can go back and look at Daniel and what he wrote about the end times. You can look at what Paul wrote. You can look at what Jesus himself said about the end times. And for many thousands of years, a couple thousand years now, preachers and just regular folks reading those passages really had a hard time understanding how any of this stuff was possible. You know, John was writing it in such a way that he only knew to, describe it in things that he was familiar with. One of the big things was like the mark of the beast. How is every man and woman on the earth going to have to take this mark or they won't be able to buy or sell? My dad's a preacher, and he said, man, forever, we just couldn't figure out how that's even possible, that you could track everybody on the earth, that you could know what everybody on the earth was doing all at the same time. And he says, but now, with the advancements in technology, this is something we know is just common day knowledge. So a lot of the things, I'd say all of the things that were prophesied about the book of Revelation and end times are now possible. And so as I'm watching Biden and Trump and all the crazy left and right stuff going on that we get tied up with every single day, you realize that if you go to Ephesians where it says we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities and powers and the rulers of the darkness of this earth, that's really what the war is. That's the real war. And so this song was born from that. I don't know anybody that's written a song like this that's walked into that subject and put it out there. But to me, where we are today in this country and in the world, it's time for this song to be heard.
It's Johnny Cash's. Wouldn't you think that's accurate? And to be honest with you, it's like, I didn't know you could do that, but you can do it at a high level. Well,
Johnny Cash is my all-time favorite. My oldest son's name is Cash, so that ought to tell you what I thought about Johnny Cash. I didn't really have to come up with any new lyrics for this. I just had to say what it already says and just make it rhyme. It was one of those instances, and I'm sure you've had these, where out of nowhere, this feeling comes over you, this thought comes into you that's so powerful, you know where it came from, and there it is, and what are you supposed to do with it? That's what this song was. I wrote it in less than an hour in a little quiet corner of my house here in Nashville. I got through writing it, I sang it into my little voice recorder, and I put my earphones in. I started walking around the house listening to it, and I could not believe what I was hearing coming back. And so I looked up, I said, what do you want me to do with this? Because radio's not going to play that. I mean, this is it's not a piece of commerce. What do you want me to do? And the feeling I got back was, he said, take it as far as you can possibly take it, meaning make it sound as good as you can make it sound, make the video as monumental as you can manage to do, and then tell everybody the message behind the song. I said, all right then. And so I wrote it back last November. We shot the video in February of this year. Now here we are in July, and it's just now coming out. But I think it's the perfect time for it to be.
So I've seen the video. Our friend Nick Searcy is in the video.
Yep.
Love to see that. He's playing the devil.
Yep.
Which is,
for such a nice guy, he makes a great devil.
Yeah, he gets a lot of villain characters. He's told me that, and he can't get out of that box. But I believe, are you debuting the video on Tucker's show and the song on Tucker's show?
No, the video comes out today. The video comes out today. So honest, if you play the video, the debut may be right here, actually. Other than maybe social media, like my channel or something. But no, you'd be the first big dog to play it.
Awesome. And obviously you'll be able to get it anywhere you get music, Apple, Spotify, all of that.
You can get it anywhere you get your music. The video, it's on my Rumble channel under John Rich. It's on YouTube too for people that aren't on Rumble. And then, on Twitter at John Rich and Truth at John Rich. I really rely on the public to take what I do and push it forward. I don't have a record deal, a publishing deal, marketing budgets. I don't have anything like that. I'm as independent as an artist can possibly be. So this thing was created. It's now going out into the public. It's up to them what they want to do with it.
Did you make that decision to go independent so you could do songs like this?
100%. I would say if I was being arrogant, I would say I made the decision. But the true story is he made the decision. He was edging me out the entire way because obviously I had a lot more music to make and doing it at a high level. Even our concerts now, you go out, there's 15, 20,000 people. Everything's going really well. But the music industry is something that's hard to break away from when you've spent your whole life trying to conquer it. And so there was a part of me hanging on the music industry and a part of me hanging on over here to what I knew I needed to do. And by some maneuvers that he put into place, it kind of pried my fingers off of that, and I went in free fall, and I grabbed onto that next rope, which is the one I'm on now, which is totally independent. And honestly, man, I would much rather depend on the general public, on friends like yourself, to take the music and video that I create and let them go market it. If you guys like it, go push it. If you don't, forget you ever saw it. And honestly, I feel like I've had more impact doing it that way than I ever had in the music industry.
The other thing I think it's the wise decision for where we're at right now in terms of great art, music. It generally comes from fighting an uphill battle, or, I hate to use their words, but some of the best art comes from being oppressed. People have no other way to get their cries out, their complaints out, other than through music. And that's why, a lot of great artists come from tough backgrounds. They've experienced a lot of trauma and just have a lot on their hearts and minds they want to get out. And that's why I think from Aaron Lewis's Am I the Only One to Oliver Anthony to Jason Aldean. When you start making this protest music, that gives you the chance to ride this wave because people are really hungry for it, but the industry doesn't allow it. I think you've made it's the right business decision, and you'll be rewarded over the long haul for making more authentic music rather than commercial music.
That's very nice of you to say. I would not go back to the old one under any circumstances, no matter what they offered me. I would never go back there. America is all about having freedom, and I have never had more freedom as a singer-songwriter artist than I do at this exact second. And to your point about the song Revelation, some of the people I'm calling out in that song, some of the people that it says in Revelation will be destroyed without remedy are working in that music industry. And that industry as a whole has glorified satanic things. Watch the Super Bowl. I mean, the first lines of the song say, dancing in the flames, the people cursed his name and bowed at the altar of the father of lies. So what that's talking about is when you turn on the Grammys, or you watch the Super Bowl halftime, or you turn on these music videos and you see unadulterated satanic situations going on and symbolism and on right in front of our kids' faces. I thought, you know what? It's time somebody pushed back against that in a real way. Not just saying, oh, that's gross. I can't believe they're doing that. No, how about I can write songs too? How about I'll write a song and call that out for a minute? Let's put you on blast for a minute because everybody knows what it is. And so, yes, if I still had a record deal, ain't no way in the world they would ever let a song like Revelation be heard. So back to my point of, I feel like the Lord took my hand off the music industry because I had quite a grip on it. And I feel like he pried my fingers off through various circumstances to get me into a place where I am today. I didn't like it when it was happening, but I sure am grateful for it now.
You know, I don't want to pick on any particular genre, but I do gotta just be honest and authentic. It's so much of music, and you don't have to follow me down this path, but again, so much of music, particularly rap, is just so uncreative and bad and profane. And somehow this has become America's #1 form of music. And we can be mad at the rappers, but it's got to say something about us, that we don't want music unless it's filled with nihilism and sex and women bent over twerking and blah, blah. And that's what art is so powerful and music is so powerful. You hear a song and you can go 30 years back into your memory. Oh, I remember that day I was talking to so-and-so and this song came. No other art form does that. You don't, I remember where I read To Kill a Mockingbird, the book, 3 or 4 times. I can't remember exactly where I was when I read it, but there's songs that take me there. It's so powerful, and that's why I'm glad you're using it in a powerful way to promote good.
I would give a shout out to a rapper who I think, who is not profane, and who in my opinion is the best writer and creator of any rapper out there right now, who also has no record deal, publishing deal, or anything else. That's a guy named Tom McDonald. And some of your listeners may know him, but you should dig into Tom McDonald, man. That guy is rattling off #1 after #1. I think he outsold Eminem a couple of weeks ago on the charts, and he doesn't want anything to do with the industry. He's kind of like me, but a rapper. And so they're out there. They're just few and far between. That's why it's key that people like yourself allow guys like us to come on and tell everybody what we're doing. Because short of you guys, you kind of remain invisible.
John, while I got you here, I got to ask you a couple of political questions. You're pretty politically active, a lot of events at your home. Who do you want to see Trump pick as vice president?
There's a couple that I like pretty well, but the one that I know the best and who I think would be the best complement to Trump is Dr. Ben Carson. Now, Dr. Ben Carson, I know you've been around him, and we've all seen him talk on TV, and he is so calm the whole time. He's also extremely serious about what he believes about our country and the way forward for our country. He's a guy that I don't think you could shake that guy off of his position for anything. I think he would die before he would come off of his positions, about what he knows to be true. So I look at him that if Trump picked him, Ben Carson would be the calm to Trump's storm, because Trump is a storm, and Dr. Ben Carson is calm. I think those two guys talking every day, if they're in the White House, would yield a lot of great results.
Not against that idea. I do think that something interesting was revealed in the debate between Trump and Biden that no one's talking about.
Okay.
Everyone's talking about how bad Biden was, and I get it. No one's talking about, I thought there was a clear difference in Trump's presentation. More polished, more reserved, more calm. There were opportunities. The old Trump would have taken some really vicious shots at Joe Biden. This Trump was wise enough to see, like, I don't have to take these shots.
Right.
Jesus, just let the guy continue to destroy himself. And so I like Ben Carson, and I get what you're saying. But I think there's less storm to Trump. I think he's more controlled. I wouldn't argue with that. I saw the same thing. You're right, because the first debate, like Rand Paul, he goes, and there's a lot of material to work with talking about how I can make fun of somebody's looks. You know, he was very shallow with a lot of his attack. But you're right, he did control himself when, I mean, that was just a wide open target. He could have just been a piñata. Who do you like as VP? I like J.D. Vance, too. I definitely like J.D. Vance. He's from a part of Ohio that's close to Indiana. I read his book, Hillbilly Elegies, one of the best books I've ever read. I can remember when I read Hillbilly Elegy, I bought it for my mother, I bought it for my aunt, I bought it for many family members. I was like, holy cow, these guys are just like us. I was reading this, I was like, this is like my family. Oh, these white people, they got the exact mom, me mom, all that other stuff. Everything he was describing, I could completely relate to. And so I do like J.D. Vance. That's a good, I'm, now, I thought this before the debate. What I wanted, I'm a Vivek Ramaswamy guy just because no one can out-debate him. And it seems like he just loves crushing these guys in debate. And he does it in such a smooth, articulate way that I was like, oh, this will be great. But after watching Trump and say, oh man, Trump's got another gear here that he's starting to unveil, that I like J.D. Vance a lot. And that would probably, when you put me on the spot like that would probably be my fallback guy.
I'm not supposed to put you on the spot on your own show.
Well, I hadn't thought to even, because I haven't given it a lot of thought. What do you think is going to happen with Biden? You think he's going to step down?
I would say I hope not, because it's just over for him. But on the flip side of that, if you're not qualified to run for president, you're not qualified to be the president. And you wonder what's going to happen over these this is not just till November 5th, this is till the inauguration. So we're looking at 6.5 months or so. What's China going to do? What are the people that have come across our border that we know are absolute terrorists, a lot of them that we've lost track of? What are they going to do? What's going to happen in the next several months without somebody in there that can at least complete a train of thought? Interesting problem they've got, though, isn't it? It reminds me of the old, well, you made your bed, you're going to have to lie in it. You know, how do you take it away from Kamala Harris? How do you take it away from her? It's interesting, though, I see these polls that go, if Kamala Harris ran against Trump, she's leading by 1 point. I said, okay, well, you know what? Try that. Let's go do that. I think I said this in an interview with you a while back, that pain is a great alarm clock, and that unity will happen with Americans when our shared pain becomes intolerable. And I think that's what you're seeing right now, with a lot of voters starting to shift towards Donald Trump, because the pain is becoming intolerable. And you and I both know we ain't even gotten into the real pain yet of what else is going to be coming, what they've got planned for us in this country. So unfortunately, there is pain yet to come. But if that's what it takes to wake Americans up and realize, not just Democrats, but a lot of Republicans too, have been cutting you up into fish bait behind closed doors for decades and lying to you incessantly. If it takes pain for us to shake that off, maybe we can pick up 50 or 75 years of actual freedom in this country.
Do you think, because again, you talk with a lot of politicians, host events at your home, any chance that Trump supporters could get overconfident, that Biden's looking how weak he is, you read social media, you read the polls, that people could like, oh, we got this?
No, I don't think so. Because last time you saw the rallies Trump had, you saw him leading in the swing states, and then we saw the voting all get shut off in the middle of the night. The votes completely changed. I think everybody understands that not only do you have to vote in such numbers and such mass to try to overcome any nonsense that somebody might try to pull to even have a shot. See, most of us out here, I don't follow it as closely as you do every day, but most regular people are still going, well, what are you going to do if they just pull the same shenanigans or some new shenanigan? I mean, how are we supposed to get over that? And the only answer is, like Trump said, it's got to be too big to rig, where the numbers are so overwhelming that that's what it is. I had Byron Donalds in my house a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling me about going around to, New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and he's sitting down in the black communities at the cigar bars and at the barbershops and hanging out with all the leaders. And he said, they're all going, yeah, something's got to change, man, because we just lost our school where they're housing all the illegals that just came in, and our neighborhoods are overrun with fentanyl, and they're passing out credit cards to people that don't even live here, not even from here. And Byron said I think the numbers are going to be astonishing as to how many black Americans wind up voting for Trump, because the pain threshold is becoming something they can't tolerate. Does that make sense?
It does. Can it get too big to rig? I'm just not sure.
I don't know if there is a number too big.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. And it's like, my dad, he owned a bar most of my life, three different bars. And he used to always say, the only way to ensure profit is to make sure you count the money at the end of the night. That's why I don't get home till 3 a.m. because he counts the money. Yeah. And that's like too big to rig, but if you're not there, standing there as they count the vote, they can make the numbers say anything.
Well, and we're already seeing, like the state of Wisconsin just passed law again that, yes, you can have drop boxes all over the town, and here we go again. So, man, I don't know. I think those are the things that are so aggravating to your regular American that they feel helpless. Like, what can we do about that? And again, I think that's going to add to the intensity of this entire situation.
Well, John, thank you so much for stopping by. Everybody go out and get Revelation. Watch the video, download the music. It's important. Send a message this weekend about what type of music we want. Because if we continue to demand and support this type of music, we'll get more of it. Revelation, great song. John Rich, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you all for watching.
Nothing in life like freedom. Came like a fighter, striking like a ladder, making all this moves for freedom. I want freedom. No negotiation, my sister, no relation. We all just wanna have freedom. Sitting on a corner, never been alone. I'm breaking my back for freedom. Blessed, we are living, get back. We are receiving, all deceiving. We all wanna be free. We want freedom. I wanna be